Hey everyone, Jay Stucia here from Apex Aerotech. Today we're going to do a breakdown and overview video of the 102-inch Slick 360 from Apex. This is our first giant scale aircraft release. This one was showcased back in October at the Cajun Huck Fest with our team pilots showcasing the capabilities. This aircraft is loaded with features. That coupled with its fantastic flight performance really makes it one of the most advanced 120cc aircraft on the market. From a flight characteristics standpoint, it's really great all-around aircraft, really checks all the boxes and what you're looking for an aircraft of this size. Low and slow, stable, friendly, predictable tendencies. Transitions well between faster maneuvers to slower maneuvers. Rapid roll rate, axial roll rate at all roll rate speeds, aggressive pitch and yaw authority, really responsive tail at all air speeds, and of course tracks really nice for those clean lines, precision style maneuvers. So today we're going to pop the canopy off it. We're going to take a look inside the fuselage. I'm going to talk about all the features that are included with the ARF, which are quite a bit. We're going to put the wings on it, talk a little bit about the field assembly, and go from there. So looking forward to it, and let's get right into it. So before we take the canopy off, let's get a closer look at the fuselage here. Beautiful trim scheme. This is called the Banshee livery, which really has its unique personality and character, fits the attitude of the Slick 360 really well. We also have the blue and red Apex livery. Both these color schemes designed by Clint Sweet. Of course, we have a matching spinner for each color scheme, which comes with the ARF. We have painted landing gear, carbon fiber landing gear, which matches the color scheme. All right, so to remove the canopy, we have two quick release mechanisms on each side of the fuselage. Right now they are in the lock position. They are spring loaded. So we'll take the handle here, we'll pull out, then we'll slide back. This one is now unlocked. We'll do the same thing for the remaining three. You can see the indentation and the cutout. So when the canopy's back on it and we want to lock it in place, we just slide this forward and we're good to go. All right, so with the canopy off the aircraft, one thing I'd like to point out, this arrow indicator at the rear of the canopy indicates this is where you will lift when the canopy's unlocked. So when we want to remove it, from each side of the rear of the canopy, we'll lift up here and then slide backwards. This is because the Slick has two aluminum dowel pins which slide into their receptacles in the fuselage. So an up-close look here at the pre-installed dashboard. There's several pretty cool hidden details here. This one was put together by Clint Sweet. We have a layout that's very similar and based off Rob Holland's MXS, which is pretty awesome. Of course, we have the pilot figure pre-installed, which matches the color scheme. All right, we've got the canopy off. Now let's take a look inside. Several areas which are laminated with carbon Kevlar, very light and rigid material. We have the aluminum receptacles for the canopy aluminum dowel pins. This cowling installs with 4 total bolts. We can see one here, one on the opposing side. Then we also have 2 on the bottom, one on each side. This tank here on the left is the stock 34-ounce fuel tank, which comes with the 102-inch Slick 360. We have our speed fueler installed. Several provisions to route your fuel line through, depending on your application. This vent line will run through down in front of the landing gear to one of the provisions for the fuel vent dot. We have our ignition and throttle servo set up. The Desert Aircraft and JR ignition switch is something that I've run recent with great success, so we have the LED routed to the outside. Our tanks are set up at the tank tray just above the wing tube and the center of gravity marker. Moving back a little further, we have our 14-channel power save receiver. I personally run Spectrum, so this is a very simple setup. This Velcro indicates where we have our two cell 2500 milliamp receiver batteries. We have our tail extensions, which are pre-installed labeled and routed through the guide tube here, which leads up to the receiver and through the opening with the rubber grommet that's pre-installed. For the aileron servos, we have our pre-installed connectors, which are labeled in accordance to the aileron servo leads and extensions. For this setup, L and R means right and left, so right and left wing, and F and back indicates front and back. Front is equivalent to the inboard servo, back is the outboard. So your extensions will be labeled. You do not need an extension for the inboard servo or the front aileron servo, just for the back, and that is included with the ARF kit, and it is labeled as well. You'll notice here we have a foam tunnel for tune pipe and canister applications. It also makes the setup look very nice and clean. So I flipped the slick upside down on the stand. We'll take another look at the cowling area. We have pre-installed baffles. We have a pre-cut pressure lip opening for hot air exit. On this one, I'm running the DA120, and it's paired with the Apex Dual Sky 120cc engine mount. We have our fuel vent dot here. There's a series of provisions just in front of the landing gear here where you can mount this. For the landing gear installation, we have 4 bolts, and it's a keyed layout, so you don't have to worry about installing the landing gear improperly. We have our landing gear cuffs, again painted landing gear, wheel pants. The wheel pants have a very simple and easy to install wheel pant saver system. The axle is actually threaded to receive this bolt here. The axle setup is very easy. We've installed our fuselage vent hatches. There's several options that come with the slick. For this one, we're running these 2 in these locations. We always recommend to install these even if you're not running tuned pipes or canisters. It's just additional hot air exit. Moving back towards the tail, the rudder is removable, installed with 1 hinge wire through the hinges. Control horns for the entire aircraft are pre-installed and painted. We'll take a look at the quick release mechanism for the horizontal stab. It's pretty much the same thing as the canopy. So right now it's locked in place. So to unlock it, we'll pull it out and slide it up. We have 2 carbon fiber tubes for the horizontal stab, a larger one aft and a smaller one in front to add anti-rotation. For the elevator servo, we have a pre-installed connector mounted inside the fuselage. On the top, there's a clamp that clamps over the servo lead. Let's get a better look at the pre-installed elevator servo connector. So to lock the horizontal stab back in place, now we're good to go. So now that we have a bit of a rundown of the fuselage, I'm going to install the wings on it. We'll talk about that process, and then we'll talk about the additional features that includes as well. We have our padded wing bags offered by Apex here. This aircraft does come with wing bags, canopy covers, and stab bags, foil material. The padded wing and stab bags are available separately. We also have our protection sun shield for 120cc aircraft, which is a great option when it's sitting out in the sun to keep the covering in good shape, and the fiberglass materials as well. So let's put the wings on it and we'll talk a little bit more. Alright, so we have our wings mounted now, as shown by the locked quick release mechanisms. You can see this black tab is seated flush to the side of the fuselage framing. This black tab helps ensure that the canopy cannot be installed when the wing is unlocked. We have our labeled and pre-installed aileron servo connectors now hooked up to the aileron servos. As mentioned previously, the LB aileron indicates left back or left outboard, and LF is left front or left inboard. You can tell here our labeled outboard aileron servo extension is also labeled LB aileron, and the LF is just simply our aileron servo stock lead. So that's an easy indication between the 2 types of leads. Same thing for the right aileron. The extension running from these aileron servo connectors to the receiver is also labeled accordingly, so it makes for quick setup in your radio. So I've unlocked this right wing. You can tell with the black tab sticking up outside the fuselage framing, and the bolt coming from the wing root is no longer engaged. Slid the wing out slightly. We have our main wing tube and our aft wing tube, which is a bit smaller. This helps with anti-rotation. We have our 2 bolts. The Slick 360 has 2 quick release mechanisms for each wing. There's the other one and the front anti-rotation carbon fiber pin. So that concludes the up-close overview of the 102-inch Slick 360 from Apex Aerotech. This is a beautiful aircraft which is loaded with features, amazing flight characteristics, really what you're looking for in a 120cc aircraft. Our entire team is super excited for this one. There's a lot of other small details that you may notice throughout the assembly. Our full assembly manual is now uploaded on our website, apexaerotech.com. From the fuel tank that's included, the matching carbon fiber spinner, fully outfitted canopy with the pilot figure and dashboard, all the extensions pre-installed, all the servo connectors. It has a clear cowl cutting template for your exhaust, so you can easily map that out. As mentioned previously, wing bags, stab bags, canopy cover, all included with the ARF. When it comes to setup, there's a lot of options. This particular model, we're running the DA120 up front with a Falcon 28 by 9.5 propeller, stock exhaust. This one's got MKS 3850s all around, Spectrum 14-channel power safe receiver. Really simple setup, but efficient and high performance. With this size aircraft, there's a lot of setups out there, a lot of different personal preferences. As shown previously, I'm running 2 2-cell, between 2,000 and 3,000 milliamp batteries. You can run a little bit bigger if you want added flight time and added flights without switching the batteries out. And of course, that all depends on your servo choice and their draw as well. As far as the initial setup and maiden flight goes, obviously the first thing to do is good engine setup, throttle setup. Some people prefer to run different idle settings and a throttle curve. For example, you have your flying idle and a lower landing idle. If you have a very good geometrically correct throttle linkage setup, chances are you won't need to mess with the throttle curve too much, but it could be beneficial if you want a very nice linear throttle curve feel. Looking inside your radio, I know for Spectrum anyways, normally we end up with a throttle curve that's mapped out similar to this. I'm doing it opposite from my perspective, so from your perspective at the camera, it'll be accurate. As far as tuning of your gas engine goes, we recommend to, of course, follow along with the manual for your manufacturer as far as needle settings go at first, for your first run-up. We also recommend, if you are not experienced with tuning a gas engine for these aircraft, to meet up with someone like a friend who may be experienced at the field, just to make sure it's sounding properly, has good throttle response, doesn't load up, isn't too lean, just to make sure that you can cleanly break in your engine without having to worry about it quitting and keeping your airframe safe. So for the DA120, typically my personal procedure is to do 3 or 4 flights, with good heat cycles in the air, which means not keeping the throttle at one throttle setting the whole time, whether that be wide open or even a slower throttle setting. Draw nice big lines, up lines, down lines. Basically, you want to keep airflow in the engine at all times, allow for it to maintain cooling, and slowly you'll even be able to hear it come in a little bit, make more power, be a little more responsive on the throttle. And after that, you can begin to fly maneuvers that are a little more hot on the engine. For example, slower maneuvers that don't allow for as much airflow. Of course, only do that if the engine's sounding correctly and doesn't feel like it wants to die. So that's really important, and benefits the long-term health of your engine. Those first 3 or 4 flights are very critical, and optimizes performance, of course, as well. After the aircraft is trimmed out on your maiden flight, of course, then it's time to test CG. Normally we do a couple different CG tests. We do some tests based on inverted flight. For example, the 45-degree line test, where we pull up to a 45-degree angle, 45-degree upline, roll inverted, and we see how the aircraft reacts. For me personally, I typically look for the aircraft to draw 2 to 3 fuse lengths and then slowly taper off. Some people like hands-off inverted there. That indicates a slightly more tail-heavy CG. Typically when it's neutral, it will do as I mentioned, where it'll draw a couple fuse lengths, then taper off. Then we do a inverted straight and level test. And typically I like to breathe on the down elevator a little bit, just to keep it flying level. Some people like it hands-off. It's all personal preference. Fortunately for this one, it's got a wide CG range. So you can start with our recommended location for receiver batteries and move around from there. You know, a lot of different setup options will affect CG. You know, if you're not running the DA120, some engines might vary in weight a little bit, so that'll affect it, of course. It all comes down to personal preference. Fortunately, these aircraft are designed to have a pretty wide CG range, so even if it is off a little bit and you're not liking the CG, chances are you're not going to put yourself in danger of not being able to control the airplane. You can still get it on the ground safely. For those of you that are experienced with a giant scale model, specifically 120cc class like this one, this is a really good option for all flying styles. I'm sure we'll see it in a lot of freestyle competitions, some IMAC competitions, and even just out of the field for some nice stable flying. So really good option for all that, and we're really happy with the performance of it, and we're really stoked to see it on the flight line at various events and clubs around the country and internationally as well. So we just want to show our appreciation for you taking the time to watch the overview video, the 102-inch Slick 360 from Apex. Of course, we'll continue to post info videos, flying videos, and more information about this airplane on our website and social media channels. As mentioned, the assembly manual has been uploaded on our website for this product page of the 102-inch Slick 360. Under the resources tab, you can find the manual, the spec sheet, and some flying videos. So a lot of resources out there on this one. Of course, feel free to contact us anytime, info@apexaerotech.com. We also have a team on our social media pages that are always doing our best to answer those questions on there as well. So thank you very much for watching this video, and we're looking forward to seeing you fly your 102-inch Slick 360.